the WMRK studios in Willowmachi, Oklahoma, the Heartland Wrestling Radio Network presents the #1 AM radio professional wrestling broadcast in north central southeastern Oklahoma. Gifted Gordon Alamo, Buddy Hard Knox, Turnbuckle Bronx, Turnbuckle Bunnies, saddle up, ride high and to the left. It's time for the Alamo and Knox Wrestling Rodeo.
Good morning, Willowmachi, Oklahoma. The time now is 6:05. You are listening to the Alamo and Knox Wrestling Rodeo. I'm your host, Gifted Gordon Alamo, sitting alongside my best friend, compadre, and buddy Hard Knox. Good morning, buddy. It is 6:05.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'm here. No, hey, no, wait. I'm here. I'm right here. You can see me. Now follow my finger. Look at my finger. Are you looking at it?
Yep.
Your pupils are dilated.
Yep.
Your pupils are dilated. Are you okay?
Well, you know, that's what happens when you take a full bong load of garbage first thing in the morning. But enough about that. I don't want to lower our ratings anymore. So let's get to the wrestling news, shall we? It's 6:05.
This is about the pre-production meeting, isn't it?
It's 6:05. We are not going to talk about drugs or Megan Fox or have any creative input anymore. Ever.
So welcome, citizens of Willowmachi and beyond. This is the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo, the beginning of season two. Season 2. I didn't even know we had seasons. This is like Alf, except only one of us is short, hairy, and from another planet. And that's Gordon. I am full-sized and completely hairless, like a swimmer, like an Olympic swimmer. But what Gordon's talking about, is the pre-production meeting this morning, which we had with Rich, our station manager here, who informed us that ratings are a little bit down. Little bit. And, maybe some veiled threats were made. Maybe there were some insinuations, improprieties about what might happen if the ratings didn't come up. But Gordon, listen, we're going to do us, right? There's always going to be weather, but we're going to continue sailing forward no matter what happens, right?
Yes,
right?
I do not want to have any more conversations about sexual innuendo or anything of the sort. We are a wrestling podcast / terrestrial radio show.
Gordon, let's just do us, right? I mean,
I don't want to do anything. That implies sexual innuendo.
All right, well, you're really going to hate the rest of this show then, Gordon, because I have nothing but a heaping bowl, a chiapino, if you will, of sexual innuendos and double entendres. I've been saving them up for weeks, Gordon, weeks. While I was vacationing in Mexico, I said the Mexico, I didn't mean to, but yeah, that's what I was doing. And, when we were down there.
Lovely country out there.
It was. It's a beautiful country. When we were down there, Hurricane Alberto hit, Gordon.
Oh, well. Okay.
Do you know what happened when Hurricane Alberto hit Mexico?
Probably nothing that we should talk about. Because we are a wrestling. Well, okay. Well, here we go.
Let me just tell you what happened, Gordon. Buckle up. Loosen your necktie. Why are you wearing a necktie? Is that an ascot?
This is a $100 tie that I got from Nordstrom Rack.
Well, here we go, Gordon. When we were down there, and it was me and Candy and the kids, and we were down there, and Hurricane Alberto hit, we couldn't go outside of our hotel room for about 48 hours. But we survived, and when we did, Gordon, it was a scene. Let me tell you, there was nothing, after Hurricane Alberto hit, there was nothing but half-naked white girls everywhere.
Okay.
Half-naked, all over. There was not a grain of powder on the beach. All the powder was gone. The white girls were decimated, Gordon. There were so many of them. None of them had pants on. Some of them without undergarments. And we were warned by the federales, the locals there, that we should brace ourselves.
It was just a lover's quarrel. It was just a spat.
It was we should brace ourselves for round 2, right? So we hold back up. We gathered our things, hold back up in the resort where we were staying. And then guess what? Hurricane the second day, it never showed up. Alberto did not show up.
Yep, because that's what happens. Yep.
Let it go, Gordon. Let it go.
I can't. I got to hold it together.
Here, let me take down the cravat. Let me unbutton your blouse, Gordon. Come on. Come on now. If they fire us, they fire us. And then we go back to ham radio. Remember when we were on ham radio?
Your bra. Lay down and unbutton your bra. The biggest.
Let it go, Gordon.
Let it go. I can't. We are wrestling. We need to get the ratings up. We need to talk about pro wrestling, but man, a hurricane that size. Oh man, is it gonna do? Oh man,
it's all right, Gordon.
White women, so many white women,
and powder, all gone. Listen, today on the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo, Gordon, we are gonna review all of the news that we missed when we were gone. And I'm just letting you know, there's going to be some very inappropriate jokes. There's going to be sexual double entendres, maybe some mild racism in that like kind of stand-up comedy PC way. We might do some of that.
Yep.
It's going to be all of it, Gordon, because that's what the people tune in for, and our wrestling knowledge. Maybe if it makes you feel better, you can incorporate some of that encyclopedic wrestling knowledge that you have, and we can do some of that too. But really, Gordon, I'm just here for the dirty jokes and the paycheck.
It's so hard. It's welling up in me. It's swollen. It's engorged.
There it goes. There it goes. That's about your penis, isn't it? There it is. There it is.
I don't.
Rich is waving at us. He's waving high. Hi, Rich. Hi. We see you.
Well, okay. So our ratings are down. Our download numbers. I guess people were feeling a certain way about ayahuasca. I mean, we got a little carried away before we went on our break. Okay.
Yeah, but it was hallucinogenics. Who's not going to get carried away on hallucinogenics? Thank you for that, by the way. That was horrifying.
Yeah, it was. It lasted way too long.
And I can never watch a Transformers movie ever again.
Or 90210 or whatever. It was so we got a tongue lashing. I am going to do my best. See, you bring it out of me. This is you.
This is me.
This is you.
It's
maybe you're the problem.
I love
you. I love you to death, but I am having such a hard time. How
hard is it? Is your time?
See,
how hard?
I just want to.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being diamonds, 1 being pudding. How hard is it?
We are going to talk about professional wrestling more because we were asked politely / not so politely to talk about more professional wrestling, less about our genitals and or our drug experiences. I will say my summer vacation was well spent.
Excellent.
I did not go to various donkey shows south of the border as well, because that would be against our code of conduct. And I didn't stay up for maybe the whole time we were gone on various different substances, because again, that would be against our code of conduct. You know,
Did you see Hurricane Alberto too? Was he in the room with the donkeys?
He might have been, but again, never shows up. That guy or that hurricane never shows up.
He never does.
Never
when
does.
We come back, Gordon, what we're going to do is we're going to take our carbiners, we're going to take our pickaxes, and we're going to summit the mountain of wrestling news that we missed when we were gone. And there's so much, we can't contain it in this hour, but we're just going to get the big rocks, the big nuggets out of the way on our next break. And then later, we have the top 5 of all top 5s. And I'm just going to spoil it for you now. I'm just going to pull it out and let it fly. We are going to have the top 5.
Why do you have to say that?
No, you know why I had to say that. The top 5 wrestlers that need steroids right now. Like
right
we need
now,
to get them on steroids right now. We're going to talk about that in the last segment.
It could save our business. It really could save professional wrestling if the powers that be heed our advice, dispense with the drug tests, get these guys on steroids. We're going to talk about that later on in this hour.
In the meantime, when we go to this break, Gordon, what I want you to do is I want you to step out the building.
Okay.
I want you to take off your pants. And I want you to go into your javelin and feel the cold leather interior on your backside.
Okay.
And then come back in, take a couple pills, whatever you need to do, come back in, ripping and raring to go. Because I know Rich threatened. He said that if we don't get these ratings up, they're going to have to change formats. That's fine. Let them change formats. We could handle that. We're Alamo and Knox, the kings of the wrestling rodeo, right? So we're going to go. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Business as usual, Rich. That's what's happening.
Okay. All right.
You're listening to the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo.
Thank you.
WMRK Willamachi. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to the Alamo and Knox Wrestling Rodeo right here at WMRK, Willamachi, Oklahoma. I feel better. I got a little breather. I took a little, little rooter tooter, little Zanny break, ski down the Klonopins. You know what I mean? I'm good to go.
If
I'm
that's what
raring
needs
go.
to happen, Gordon, if that's what we had to do, then that's what we had to do.
Well, maybe if I just put everything, like if I say hypothetically I did all this stuff, then you can't really
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Okay. Well, welcome back to the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo. We are skiing through, slaloming through. Slalom? Is it a slalom?
It is.
Hour number 1 here, and we are going to talk about professional wrestling because that's what we really are here for. Okay. I did take some of what they said to heart. Maybe we shouldn't do so much outside of the wall, let's not color outside of the lines too much. But one thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the best news stories from when we were gone, and because that's what you guys tune in for. You want to hear us talk about professional wrestling and add our own little unique spin on it. So, buddy, are you ready to talk about some of these wrestling stories?
I'm ready. Gordon, fire when ready, sir.
So I need you to take a deep breath with me. Ready? AEW star Evil Uno, his wife made a heartbreaking announcement while we were gone about she and the leader or one of the guys in the Dark Order faction. I know what you guys are all thinking. What a faction. She announced, unfortunately, she is not going to be a part of Mystery Wrestling anymore, which don't know what that is, and that she was no longer going to be called Mrs. Uno. Her statement reads like this, buddy. I am heartbroken to announce that I can no longer be Mrs. Uno, in quotations. She's wearing a goofy mask too, by the way, in her little picture. It has been a joy and an honor to be Evil Uno's wife. I hope you will all continue to support Evil Uno and Mystery Wrestling because he really deserves the best. See you soon. Buddy, what do you make of this heartbreaking announcement that Evil Uno is married?
Okay, I have so many questions, Gordon. I know we're just getting back from vacation.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of that Club Med kind of Sandals Resort hangover that you get.
Sure.
Who is Evil Uno?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
We're going way back because I don't even know who's Evil Uno.
So he's Canadian. So I'll
strike one. Strike one.
I was gonna say I'll drill it down to 3 points. He's Canadian.
1. Okay.
Okay. He wears a mask.
Okay. 2. Problem. All right. Okay.
And he is fat.
Okay, that's 3. Where does he wrestle? Is it a mystery? That's what you said? It's a mystery wrestling?
No. I think he runs a thing called Mystery Wrestling. They watch, he does the commentary on it, but it's, you know what? I'm going to stop trying to pretend. I don't know what Mystery Wrestling is.
So he was married to a woman whose name
apparently
okay. Well, she is allegedly a woman.
Allegedly, yes.
And she's Mrs. Uno.
She is Mrs. Uno, yes.
Okay, so if you've got Evil Uno here and you got Mrs. Uno there, does that make them dose?
Maybe.
Like 1 plus 1? But now they're subtracting 1, so she's back to Uno?
Yes. Her profile is, again, of her wearing a feminized version of his goofy mask. And it says join the Dark Order because the Dark Order is a wrestling faction in AEW that Evil Uno was a part of with his tag team partner in the Super Smash Brothers.
I remember now. It's all coming back to me. Yeah.
Yep.
So they're in AEW. Are they still in AEW?
Sure. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say some of them are, some of them aren't. And they're there floating around. Marco Stunt was a part of them. God, I hope we never see that guy again.
That would be really unfortunate. So, Gordon, my last question about this whole situation is,
sure,
who cares?
People in their basement?
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sorry that they're getting divorced, if that's what indeed is happening. But I'm also sorry that they're fat and wearing masks, and I'm sorry that they're Canadian, and I'm sorry that they're in AEW. And I only have so much grief, right? Like I can't dispense any more grief here, Gordon. And then, I mean, it's sad when a dose becomes two Unos and a pina colada and getting drunk in the rain, making love at midnight. I don't know. Like, does this matter? Does anything matter, Gordon?
Here's the thing that kind of, and first of all, why is this a news story, right? I mean, we both agree on that. But why is it, if they're getting divorced, why does she say it has been a joy and an honor to be Evil Uno's wife? Well, if it's been a joy and an honor, logic would dictate that you would still be married to him.
Unless he's stepped out on her or, I don't know, done something unforgivable in the parking lot of a sandals resort.
No, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. Well, that was cryptic. I'm gonna go on a limb and say that was cryptic. So I just don't understand why, even if you're a fan of mystery wrestling or Mrs. Uno or Evil Uno, why would you care? Why would you care?
It's a mystery, Gordon. It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. Okay, moving on. Speaking of mysteries, there's a public stabbing mystery afoot here in old Kansas City. Former Denver pro wrestler Too Cold Scorpio was arrested on suspicion of assault in a gas station fight. So, Too Cold Scorpio was Too Cold Scorpio is, right? I mean,
how could you forget him?
He is big in ECW, had a good run in WCW.
He's now in Bad Boys 4 with Will Smith.
Was he?
Yeah, he's in the new theatrical release. I just saw the trailer the other day, and I'm like, oh, there's Too Cold Scorpio with Will Smith.
Oh, no, that's Martin Lawrence. He does look like Too Cold Scorpio, though. It's got the protruding ears, the chubby face.
Oh, okay. All right. Go on.
Very similar. Very similar. So, old Too Cold was working. Obviously, he just likes staying up late nights and cruising around a gas station. But he was working his security job in a Kansas City Love's Travel Stop. What a pile of crap those are. And he was apparently a guy lit up a cigarette, was walking through the door. Mr. Scorpio asked him to kindly put that out. I believe the altercation went something like this. Okay, you be the guy smoking a cigarette.
Okay. Oh, this is a good cigarette.
Excuse me.
Wait, hold on. I'm not done. Let me get my part here. This is a delicious cigarette that I am now smoking in front of this travel stop.
Excuse me, sir. Would you
yes,
mind
Mark Lawrence. How can I help you?
Would you mind putting that cigarette out?
I can't believe you're here. I love Bad Boys.
You're not allowed to smoke that in the stores, sir.
Have you ever been slapped by Will Smith? Does it hurt?
I will slap you if you don't put that cigarette out in just a minute.
I can't believe that Martin Lawrence is here in a security guard uniform.
Stab! Stab! Stab!
I'm bleeding. Please, Martin Lawrence, call 911.
I'm going to drop the bomb on you. I'm going to stand on this counter. I'm going to flip off and leg drop you. So apparently.
Damn, Gina. I just had to look for a point to put that in. I was looking and it wasn't presenting itself, so I just forced it real quick. Dry entry.
So apparently he didn't put the cigarette out, and Too Cold stabbed him because, that's what you get. I mean, let's just be real about it. That's what you get when you don't pay attention to Too Cold. And he said he was just trying to use the ATM, and then he said Too Cold approached him about smoking the gas station, got in his face. The man pushed him away, and then that's when Too Cold grabbed a shiv and started going to town on this.
A shiv, like he was in prison?
I think so. I'm going to go with it.
Okay.
And I'm not making any, don't get carried away, internet listeners. Like, I'm not saying because he's black, he had a shiv on him. I'm not saying anything like that.
But
I'm just saying.
But yeah, what? Gordon, it is tragic, though. I mean, the guy was on one of the highest-rated sitcoms of the 90s and a successful stand-up comedian.
It's not the same guy. It's not the same guy.
It's the same guy. It's just that's his shoot name. That's his shoot name. A little behind the business there.
Well, we were told that we need to peel the curtain back a little bit, if you will.
Right. So
that's good. That's good. So, anyways, it looks like they were grappling. He pulled out the shiv, started stabbing him, and Mr. Too Cold Scorpio is charged with felony first-degree assault and was released from jail on a $50,000 bail. Now, here's a side note to this. Apparently, the man is a Too Cold Scorpio fan.
Who isn't, really?
Right. And because of this charge, Too Cold can't go to Japan in a scheduled wrestling tour. So there is no winners in Kansas City, Missouri, outside of a Love's gas station. All right, let's move on to the next story. Tim Horner.
Our good friend.
Our good friend.
R.I.P. Tim. We miss you.
Who's been on the he was a disembodied voice, let's just say that, because he's been dead for a while now. But apparently a couple weeks ago, it was the day to remember the time that Tim Horner suggested he increase the ratings for Smoky Mountain Wrestling by going to all the local electronic stores and turning on all the TVs to Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
Genius. An absolute genius.
Absolutely genius. Okay, picture it. Let's do another scene.
All right.
All right.
I'm a TV. Turn me on.
No. You're not a TV.
Turn me on, Gordon.
No.
Tune in Tokyo. Tune in Tokyo. It's right here. Let me lift up my shirt. That's where Tokyo is. Go ahead. Find Japan.
No. I'm a dad. You're the little
milk
boy.
made lemonade around the corner. Fudge is made. Tune it in.
Okay, we're in the 90s. We're walking through an electronics store. Okay, here we go.
Okay,
ready?
can I put my shirt back on? Because they're going to kick us
put your
out.
shirt back on because that's weird.
Okay,
and put your fez on. I like it when you wear the fez.
All right, here we are.
Okay. Oh man, we really need a new TV, don't we, son?
Oh, you're my daddy.
Yeah. Well, don't say it.
You're back. You're back, Daddy. Thank you for coming back. I thought you were gone forever, but you said you were only going to get some milk and some Arby's, and here you are. And we're walking through the store like Field of Dreams, like I always wanted to. And we're turning on the televisions.
Well, no, they're already on, son. And wow, look at this exciting wrestling action that's on the TV right now, son. Should we go to a live event? Wait, was that a good enough question? Should we go to a live event?
Yes, Daddy. I'll go anywhere with you since you have come back into my life now. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And scene.
That was great.
Yeah, I mean, really, really captured the essence of the moment. The point of it is genius marketing. Why hasn't AEW, who has catastrophically low ratings, why haven't they thought about hiring Tim Horner? Why?
Because he's dead is probably the biggest one.
Well, I mean, does that matter nowadays? Hitler's dead, and we still seem to summon him from time to time. Not me and you.
No, we don't do that. We're not
we
into
don't
the
do
dark
that.
arts or anything.
Yeah. That's weird. But I mean, why wouldn't you just at least have a seance, get Tim Horner on the line,
or
on the ghost line? It's a ghost line.
Or you could take that idea and you could get one of the, so you have a roster of 300 wrestlers and only 20 of them are doing anything at any given time. You could get the rest of the wrestlers to go out to local stores and turn on things. I mean, it's a pretty genius idea.
You know what? What we should do is next week, exclusively on the podcast, which you should rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're at, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast needs, Matt. You should rate, review, and subscribe us right now. But next week, exclusively on this podcast, let's get Tim Horner on the phone or on the ghost line. The ghost line.
Yeah, we'll use the Ouija board.
We'll use the Ouija board. We'll chant it up. We'll get him out, and we will make sure that he gives us the full rundown on why this was such a genius idea.
I think that's a great idea, Gordon. Let's do that next week here on the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo.
All right. And in other news, sorry.
You're flipping the papers. Your chair's
flipping
creaking.
Flipping the papers. Glacier.
Ooh, it's getting cold in here.
Do you feel it?
Ooh.
Do you feel it?
Tune in Tokyo again. One more time. Just one more time.
He's working backstage at AEW. And he's a producer and a coach.
It's about time, Gordon.
Right?
It is about time that somebody took advantage of that man's prodigious skills.
I mean, Mortal Kombat is still a hot game,
It's
right?
the hottest.
Why not bring him out there in full regalia, in full garb? Let him do some spin kicks, pop a rating, And the way you pop ratings, Glacier.
They showed it in the WCW, right? Like that's like how you do it. You get a guy who is very skilled. You should make sure that he's white because you don't want any shorter Asian people on television, really. But you need a white guy with the blue eye, right? Because it's so frozen, it's so cold.
It's so cold in here.
And then he does the karate, right?
Yeah, and all he has to do is throw that ice on the ground. They're slipping. Whoa, whoa!
Yep. Uppercut. And then ninja. I was gonna say ninjutsu and nunchaku. I tried to combine them in one word, didn't work. But you know what I mean? You just have a guy out there doing the karate, the martial arts, and then boom. Yeah, fatality.
Rip their heads off. Because that's the next logical step for AEW, fatalities, right?
I mean, they could probably stand to lose a couple people from their roster, as we've discussed already.
Yes. And I think that it would just help AEW. Bring Glacier out, pop a rating, kill some people live on television. Brilliant move. Tony Khan, we were also reprimanded that we go in too hard on AEW. Well, this right here is the pendulum swinging back the other way. Glacier, brilliant hire, Tony Khan. Brilliant.
I mean, I really can't agree more, Gordon. If there's one thing that we need more of, it's that kind of trying to recreate that golden era of WCW right from around 1998 to about 2001, where it really started to lift off the ground. And the more you can recreate that feeling, recapture that feeling, the more that the ratings are going to go up.
Magic. It'll just be magic. One magic segment after another. And Tony Khan will bring the ratings up with Glacier. All right. We are going to go to a break because Rich is waving at us maniacally. We have to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to continue with more wrestling news stories that we missed while on vacation right here on the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo. You're listening to WMRK in WMRK in Willamette.
All right, you're rusty.
We'll be right back. Kind of sounds like the Midnight Express thing. Well, now it's just ECW, right? Welcome back to the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo. The time now is 6:38, right on the dot here in Willamachi, Oklahoma. Got to do more time calls. Got to make sure we get all of our plugs in. Don't want to get yelled at again like we're 2-year-olds. You're listening to WRMRK in Willamachi, Oklahoma. I'm Gifted Gordon Alamo, sitting with Buddy Hard Knox. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe if you're listening to us in the podcasting realm. Coming up next hour, we are going to give our full prediction of the Money in the Bank PLE that'll be happening this weekend. And exclusively next week on the podcast, we will have a full breakdown of what happened at Money in the Bank. And rest assured, I know that nothing screwy is going to happen in that pay-per-view at all.
No, it's probably going to be business as usual, I'd guess, straight down the line.
Straight down the line. All right, so this segment, buddy, we talked a little bit about this in pre-production. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you to the test.
Oh,
and what I mean by that is you're normally a very verbose type of person, right?
I like to talk, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we both do. That's why we're doing what we do. And so with the rest of these news stories, what I want to do is I'm going to read the headline to you, and then I want one statement about that headline. It could even be one word, it could be 2 words, or it could just be a whole statement. But I want you to encapsulate. I want you to really tune into the news and give us, what would Buddy say if it was just like the elevator pitch, right? Your thoughts on these news stories, okay?
All right, Gordon. This is a walk into the deep, dark subconscious of Buddy Knox, but here we go.
Yep. Deep, dark.
So deep. I'm ready.
So deep.
It's a pleasure swing.
Here we go.
Okay.
I bring that same bravado into this. All right.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go.
Ready.
Kevin Kelly says he plans to sue AEW.
Nazi.
Great. Fantastic. Okay.
All right.
Tony Khan says Sting's final match was the greatest send-off ever in pro wrestling.
Smoking Sherm. That's formaldehyde. He's smoking the embalming fluid. That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Okay.
All right.
AEW reportedly spends over $100 million per year on their talent roster.
I think the first thing that comes to mind is he's just paying for friends, and that's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. But, it's not unexpected either. You know what I mean? They do need I don't want to elaborate too much, but they do need to pay top talent like Mercedes Moné and Okada to move those numbers. So I get it.
Shane McMahon recently had a meeting with Mercedes Moné and has been making calls to wrestlers about him joining AEW.
Stephanie McMahon's Bazoombas. That's the first thing that popped into my head. You just were talking about Shane McMahon. I just immediately went to the delicious peaks of one Stephanie McMahon. Okay. I don't have anything to say about Shane McMahon going to AEW because let's face it, that's stupid. Let's talk about her boobs. Can we do that?
That's not on here for us to talk about. But I mean, feel free if you want to.
Did I use the word bazoombas? That was kind of weird. I apologize for that.
All right. Becky Lynch's future is uncertain in WWE. Has she trademarked her real name?
I'm still thinking about Stephanie McMahon's bazoombas. Do you ever go to one of those novelty restaurants, Gordon?
Restaurants? Is that
like Twin Peaks or like Hooters?
Yeah. I've been to both Twin Peaks and Hooters.
Which is your favorite of the two?
Well, we're gonna get real twisted here. I think it's because I prefer Twin Peaks because they wear plaid skirts, and that does something to my psyche.
Have you ever been to Red Robin?
I have, yes.
There is nothing for me more arousing personally than a $1 margarita. Or is that Applebee's?
That could be both, actually.
All right, let's do word association for chain restaurants. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. Do you want me to name chain restaurants and you do word association with them?
No. That'll take up too much time. This is a wrestling show, Gordon. A wrestling show.
Oh, that's right. Yes, wrestling. Apparently, one of the reasons why the newly released Donovan Dijak was released is because he is a stooge for quote-unquote the dirt sheets.
Oh, I thought it was because he was a talentless hunk of garbage. Is that not still a factor, or is it just that he's just the dirt sheets? Isn't that why they released Keith Lee too?
I didn't know that they released Keith Lee. Is that a thing?
Isn't Keith Lee dead? What's happening with Keith Lee?
He might be. I don't know.
He may be at Red Robin.
All right.
Speaking of Twin Peaks,
Ronda
Keith
Rousey.
Lee.
Ooh, those are some peaks. Ronda Rousey praises Paul Heyman as one of the few people, quote unquote, who encouraged her creatively. Excuse me.
The first word that comes in mind is AEW, because I feel like that's where she's going. That's all that's left, Gordon. That's where dreams and wrestlers and washed up UFC people go to die. AEW.
Okay. And finally, our favorite subject, Mercedes Moné says that Tony Khan saw in her the best women's wrestler of all time.
Did she really say that?
Yeah.
Did she really say she was the best women's wrestler of all time?
Tony Khan thinks she's the best women's wrestler of all time.
I don't even know what to say to that, Gordon. I wouldn't even put her in the top 20.
I mean, we haven't talked about it on the podcast, but you are a fan of good women's wrestling.
I like
enjoy. You do. You far more than I do.
I like a good restaurant, but also a good athletic contest.
I think that's because you're far more of a pervert than I am.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
more out. Actually, you know what? We're going to do one more after we finish talking about this. But that is a crackpot thing to say. But I guess Tony Khan is just trying to find his footing because we got to be nice about AEW. So in the last AEW related story, Tony Khan is considering AEW injury report show.
A what now? A show where he talks about injuries?
Yeah, because half the people are injured.
What's going on over there, Gordon?
I don't know. I don't know. But, okay, I said that was the last one. We actually have one more. The We Want Marty hashtag has apparently gone viral.
Yeah, I saw this all over the Twitter machine this morning. I saw it all over.
Disgraced, once heralded as one of the biggest up-and-coming stars from the British pro wrestling scene, Marty Scurll recently said that a hashtag, We Want Marty, has started up again, and that means that, you know, these fans are wanting Marty on those quote-unquote bigger shows since he's really been relegated to just Puerto Rico and Mexico. So apparently Marty Scurll says, we want Marty. What do you think?
I mean, I don't want Marty. Do you want Marty? I mean,
we all want Marty, don't we? Now, in the final story, speaking of our friend, Marty Jannetty is getting divorced. That's right. Well, after only a few weeks, the happy nuptials have now separated.
Oh, Marty.
And Marty Jannetty is getting a divorce. What? Oh, no.
All right, caller, go ahead.
Hey, man.
Look, speak of the devil. There it is. Marty, how are you, Marty?
Just, you know, you got to keep it down, man. I'm not with Bruce Beefcake anymore, man. But, dude, okay, this was crazy, man. This is crazy. So I saw the hashtag, right? Is it We Want Marty, man?
Yeah, right.
We want Marty. Right. And I thought I know they're talking about me, man, because, you know, I may have that one bum foot, but I could still do the rocker dropper. You put your head down.
Mm-hmm.
Put your head down right here. Let me do it.
No,
let me do it real quick.
You're not here. We can't do that.
Let me tell you something. Shh, you gotta be quiet. You gotta be quiet. Okay. Let me tell you something. I feel betrayed. I feel betrayed because I thought when I was marrying that bitch.
And Marty, we are on the air. You can't use those kind of words.
Man, well, you are on the air, and I'm so glad you guys came down to Mexico for my wedding and everything. But anyways, when I married that skank, that whore,
that
troglodyte, she was a real troglodyte, man. Let me tell you something. But I thought I was. See, Missy Beefcake was performing the wedding, but I got confused, and I thought I was marrying Missy. So that way, me and Beefer, we could have the same wife. And I thought it would be a lot of fun, man. That we could rock and roll all night, baby. Rock and roll all night. Rock and roll.
Okay, but you didn't marry
her. Yeah, no, I married this other girl, this troglodyte, right?
Okay.
Like, just the skis of a woman. Like, she just tells me all these sorts of things, man. I kind of thought it was my stepdaughter, though, too. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not. I gotta be 100% on. Wait, look at me.
Look at me. This is the video call. I can't see you.
I'm being 100% honest with you guys right now, man.
I appreciate that.
I got confused, man. I got real confused, and I just want you guys to know I would never marry my stepdaughter. That's just weird.
No, that would be really strange. Yeah, of course. Oh, okay.
But I got to admit I was a little bit like, oh, could this be love? The kind of thing. Like, man, I'll tell you what, man, you never know what you're getting, man. So this is a warning to all you people out there: don't marry a skis or a whore or a woman of the night.
Or Missy Beefcake. Do not marry her either.
Yeah, well, she's a whore, too, because she turned her back. Her and Beefer got mad at me. They were like, you taking the sacred institution of marriage and throwing it out the window, man. I was like, I thought I was marrying you, bitch.
So, Marty, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question real quick?
I called her a bitch.
Okay, so...
Yeah, go ahead.
Marty, that hashtag thing, that isn't about you. It's not you.
Yeah, it's 100% about me, man.
No.
They're like you, but we want Marty.
No, it's a little pedophile named Marty
Jannetty.
No,
Marty Jannetty.
No, it's a different pedophile, Marty. It's not you.
It's
a British one who dresses up like a bird.
He dresses up. Hey, he got that long dick nose. Gotta say dick. Gotta say dick on Trisha Radio.
I mean, you just did. So I guess, yeah. No, yeah, it's a different.
Hey. I think this line's being recorded. I gotta get going.
All right.
I gotta go. Rocker Dropper, baby. I love you.
All right, Rocker Dropper. Thank you, Marty. Thank you so much.
I really don't marry a whore.
I won't do it. Stay off the internet, Marty. Don't ever go on the internet again.
Okay, I got it. I love you guys. We want Marty.
All right.
Hashtag we want Marty Jannetty. We need clarification. Marty.
You got to add the Jannetty. Yeah, because otherwise people get confused. Okay. All right. Thank you, Marty.
Yeah, gotta go.
That's
All right,
great.
bye-bye.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for confusing everybody there. Well, I mean, that was Marty, and he's back now, I guess.
I thought if we got a tongue lashing at from the last episode, what was that? We're gonna get thrown off.
Yeah, that wasn't our finest hour there, really. But I mean, hey, listen, we can't control what the guests do, right? Like if Marty calls,
did we dump it? Did we dump most of it, or
we dumped a little bit of it? I mean, Josh can only do what Josh can do. Listen, it's fine, Gordon. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to change formats probably and maybe get thrown off the air.
Hey, here's how we're going to make up for it, though, right now, Gordon.
Yes.
So we got advertising dollars, right?
Oh, okay.
And we're just running these kind of normal spots in between, commercial breaks and everything. But the station, Rich, decided that maybe the best way for us to get those advertising revenues up would be to do live reads. That's the big popular thing right now is the live read. So we got a sponsor for this week, Gordon.
Oh, okay.
And so this week's sponsor is Kolache Barn. Yeah, Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo is brought to you by Kolache Barn, Willamachi's oldest family restaurant, now celebrating their 30th anniversary. Can you believe it, Gordon?
I can. That's amazing.
For our new listeners who don't live in Oklahoma, you might be wondering, what is a kolache? Well, a kolache is a pastry made from brioche, right, and stuffed with the meat product of your choosing. And at Kolache Barn, they have the most delicious, inviting, hottest, moistest dough pockets waiting for your meat in the entire state of Oklahoma. Okay. Right? So not only do they have, Gordon, listen to this, not only do they have the traditional flavors like sausage, beef, and calamari, they also have seasonal proprietary flavors as well. Right now, if you go to Kolache Barn is what I was trying to say there, you can come check out their seasonal menu featuring Mojave rattlesnake, Bayou snapping turtle, and the newest flavor, which is sweeping Willamachi, Chinese wet market with sweet and sour sauce. So Piss Collins and the entire Kolache Barn family, Gordon, they have been working so hard for 3 decades to make sure that you and your children have maximum pleasure stuffing their dough sockets with delicious proteins in a family-friendly environment that is 100% Christian and American, except for the pangolin and the wet market flavor. So from now until August 1st, you pop over to Kolache Barn. You tell them Gordon Buddy sent you, and you will get 15% off your meal. Time is limited. Gordon, get over there. Make sure you head over to Kolache Barn over on Dudikoff and Swanson and help them celebrate their 30th anniversary. Kolache Barn, where dreams are made, shaped into sleeves and stuffed with meat.
I got to tell you, personally speaking, I have eaten at Kolache Barn maybe 70 times in my entire life, and each time is a flavor experience like you will never forget. The snapping turtle, had it last week, incredible. Now, did I get a little piece of beak in there? Yeah, sure. But it was good. Hey, I mean, everybody needs a little beak in their lives. But yes, Kolache Barn celebrating their 30th anniversary right here in Willamachi. Tell them Gordon and Buddy sent you, and you will not be disappointed. What a great sponsor to bring on. Man, I'm so excited.
Piss Collins, a longtime friend of the show. We've had Piss aboard since day one. Yet before you write the letters or whatever, that is his name. He's Czechoslovakian.
That is his God-given name.
His name is Piss.
God-given name.
But because he's Czech, it's like P-I-Z-Z. It's like Piz. It's like, so they anglicized it when he came over to this country on a raft with a kolache.
Piz.
Piz Collins.
Piz Collins over at the Kolache Barn. What a great sponsor. We look forward to having more sponsors come on board from the local Willamachi culinary scene or any other scene that we got going on here in Willamachi, Oklahoma. All right, when we come back, we are going to go into our final segment for this hour. We are doing the top 5 wrestlers that should be on steroids right now to save the pro wrestling business. You're listening to the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo on WMRK, Willamachi, Oklahoma. We'll be right back.
Right back.
All right, welcome back to the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo. Right here on WMRK in Willamachi, Oklahoma. The drinking has started. Rich, who is now watching all of our shows, started downing Jack Daniels right after Marty got off the phone. So I think we stressed him out a little bit, or Marty stressed him out a little bit.
I mean, come on, Rich. It's like barely 7 o'clock in the morning, buddy. Like, let's have some decorum here. All right, this is a professional business that we are running right now.
Yeah, do you want us to scold you for your choices that you're making by drinking whiskey right out of the bottle at 7 a.m.?
7 a.m.
Get it together. All right, welcome back to the Alamo Knox Wrestling Radio. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, wherever you get your SoundCloud needs, podcasting needs met. Also, we are on terrestrial radio. Hour number 2 coming up at you. Hour number 3, we are going to deep dive into the crazy, crazy world of underground Mexican wrestling. Lucha Libre, hour number 3 coming up on the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo. Right now, we're gonna put a bow on this one. But before we do that, we are going to talk about the top 5 wrestlers that me and you believe need to get on steroids now in order to save professional wrestling.
I mean, Gordon, we've talked about this on the podcast, or not the podcast, the terrestrial podcast, or the broadcast that we do every damn day. We've talked about it many times. We, on the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo, big believers in steroids, okay?
Absolutely.
Let's be honest. Let's just be honest. Wrestling was better when wrestlers looked like wrestlers. And how do you get to look like a wrestler? You lift heavy things, all right? You tear your muscles a little bit, and you repair those muscles with anabolic steroids. It's the only way.
Much quicker. Yes, it's the only way, and they repair much faster than the way like your body can do it by itself, but with steroids it's like 10 times faster. So why not do it? You know?
And this is an athletic competition. Look better.
Yeah, you just look better, okay? So this is our helpful guide for you. So if we were doing a YouTube video right now, the thumbnail would be me going with my hands across my face going, you know, how can you say pro wrestling would be the headline. And then you'd be in the back sucking your thumb like a little baby. You're like all in diapers and stuff. You'd be like, oh, you know.
All right. So our top 5 wrestlers who need steroids right now. Gordon, why don't you get us kicked off here with your number 5 pick?
Okay. And this could be from any promotion. So it doesn't necessarily. I think if you're going, and this is, listen, I love this wrestler. I just think he needs a little bit of help. I think he's got a lot of potential, but he's super injury prone. My number 5 is Adam Cole. He needs steroids desperately.
I mean, Gordon, I don't disagree with you, but like, here's the problem. You give him steroids, the second half of the transaction is you got to lift something.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He's got buggy whip arms. I feel bad. I know a lot of people don't body shame him. I'm not body shaming him. I'm worried about his health. He literally stepped off some steel steps and shattered his ankle. Shattered it. And I don't know if it's because he's a worthless vegan or if it's because he's married to a horse-faced lady. I don't know what it is. But what I do know is I want him to stop breaking things. Get on steroids, Adam Cole. It'll help you out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree, Gordon. He is easily, and I am a body shamer, an unrepentant body shamer.
Yeah,
I love shame, and especially when it's applied to bodies. And I'm shaming Adam Cole. He looks terrible. My number 5, Gordon, is along those same lines, right? I'm going to take you back to the glory days of, let's say, 2013, 2014. There was a little trio that took the wrestling world by storm. That trio was The Shield. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and the artist formerly known as Dean Ambrose at that time, right?
Right.
The reason the Shield was successful is because you had these guys that were young and hungry and bigger than life, and they looked the part, right? All three of them looked the part. So
Right.
Roman Reigns goes on, and we all know what happened. Roman Reigns, the hottest wrestler in the business right now, right? Seth
You mean
Rollins.
hot like sexy?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but I mean, I'm not
okay.
gay.
Yeah, yeah.
Just FYI, I go to
strict.
restaurants. I like
Super strict.
Twin Peaks. And not
Twin
the
Peaks.
show. The show's weird. I don't like the show.
Fire walk with me.
No, I don't like that. I don't like any of that. But what I do like is women who I pay to be nice to me because I'm lonely. All right, so taking you back, Jon Moxley, right? Like, so Roman Reigns goes on, does his thing. Seth Rollins goes on, does his thing. Both incredibly successful. Then you got Jon Moxley. Have you looked at Jon Moxley recently, Gordon?
Yep.
He looks terrible.
Like, yeah, he does. He 100% does.
He needs steroids right now. Right now, Gordon. I think, you can't do anything about the balding. You can't do anything about being talentless. And you can't do anything about having to bleed every single match. But what you can do is get that body in shape. Gordon, my number 5 pick, Jon Moxley. Give that man some steroids and perhaps a gift certificate to a local tanning booth.
Okay. I love it. I love the pick. All right, number 4 for me is Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks. I'm getting a twofer on this one.
You sure are. You sure are.
If you're going to have if your game plan going into the match is the same game plan every time, because it is, watch their matches. It's the same game plan time after time. It's like, hey, we're going to do this flippy do, and then we're going to do this. And if you're going to be those guys, put some muscle mass on. Do it. Don't do it for us. Excuse me, cough button. Do it for your kids so they can actually see what real men look like. Because, all right, let's do another role play. Okay.
Here I am. Who am I?
You're Matthew's youngest son, let's say.
All right.
Okay?
Here I go.
And I'm coming in from a long weekend on the road. Here we go. And go.
Daddy,
Whoa.
It's so good that you're back. I missed you so much. I have an idea. It's like Field of Dreams. Would you like to go to the electronics store with me and turn on all the televisions?
Son, I'm so tired because I'm malnourished and I haven't been taking care of myself the way I should. I'm not a good role model for you because I don't work out.
Daddy, please don't leave me again. Daddy, please don't. I know you're out of shape and tiny and you wear weird clothes and a headband because your hair's falling out and you got them weird nipples. Your nipples are weird and you're like kind of flabby.
My nipples are puffy. Okay,
hold on,
son.
let me finish. Dad, let me finish.
Okay. Yes.
You disgust me. All right? You disgust me, Dad. But please go on with what you were saying. You're tired because you're emaciated.
I feel like I have no energy because I don't ever work out. I don't deserve to be your father. Goodbye. And
you know what you need, Dad? Wait, hold on. You know what you need? Go back into character. You need
yeah.
steroids. Anabolic steroids.
Oh, wow. That would change my life. Thank you, son.
You're welcome. Please don't ever leave. Please don't ever leave.
Ooh. I never thought kissing my son. What? Okay.
All right, Gordon. My number four. Hold on. Here it comes. Is Tony Khan. Tony Khan needs steroids. And here's why. Tony Khan is so small and so defenseless that a grown man pointing his finger at him made him feel more in fear of his life than he has ever felt before. From a man raising his voice and pointing his finger at him. Gordon, Tony Khan needs steroids. Maybe if he weighs 120 pounds soaking wet, maybe if he got a little bit of mass, he could stand up to those bullies who menace him by pointing their finger at him and raising their voice in his general direction because he is, in fact, the head of the company. So my number 4 pick, Gordon, Tony Khan.
Nice. I love it. I mean, yeah, I can't even add anything to that. Number 3 for me is The Rock, just to show that we're equal opportunity here. So we all saw WrestleMania, loved WrestleMania. Everything about it was a spectacle of spectacles. But The Rock looked a little slender, especially in his midsection. There was none of that bloat that you're looking for in someone that really pushes the weights really hard. I think he could add more muscle mass on. He's only 60. So if he is on a cycle, maybe just crank it up just a notch. just a notch.
You know,
I want
Gordon, I mean, you got another twofer here because that was my number 3 pick as well, The Rock, and it's the same thing. Yeah, he looked okay for a man in his 80s, right? But he's pushing what, like 280, 285? We really need to get above the 320, 330 mark. So he needs to add at least 50 pounds of bulk to that frame before it starts looking legitimate. You know what I mean? And yes, he's gone a long way, eating clean, training hard,
right.
pushing the tires or whatever those CrossFit nuts do. He's doing all of that. But really, at his age, to kick it up to that next level, he needs steroids, Gordon.
He really does. This would put him into that upper echelon of physique already. It would put him into the freak mode. Because it's just not there. Like you said, it's like inching on like, oh, wow, you eat clean. You eat 6 chicken breasts a day and wake up at 3 a.m. to do a workout. Congratulations. Yeah, that's soft stuff, right? We need to kick it up to the next gear. Number 3 is The Rock, and I guess you already shared your number 3 as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, just to add on to that real quick,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
he looked
please.
kind of like, as we saw this past week, he looked like an average senior citizen. He looked like Joe Biden up there. You know what I mean? And we need a little bit more meat on our potatoes. You know what I mean? So, yeah, why don't you give us your number 2, Gordon?
All right, my number 2, now granted, we haven't seen him in a long time, but it's done wonders for him before in the past. I want to see Vince McMahon back on steroids, or again, maybe cranking it up a little bit. It's obviously hasn't affected his cognitive abilities at all. He's still a raving pervert. And
Very virile, sexually very potent.
Right. But I'm wondering if he cranked it up a little bit, did a little bit more, would that amp, maybe it would work in reverse. Maybe it would mellow him out a little bit. Maybe he wouldn't be so apt to poop on people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think it would do Vince good. Maybe it would turn the hands of time back a little bit, dial back the aggression a little bit, and just kind of, just work in his favor. He just needs to get back to the basics. What brought you to the dance in the first place, Vince? It was steroids, right? Injecting the wrestlers and injecting yourself, probably using the same needle, doing all sorts of weird stuff. Vince McMahon needs to get back on steroids.
Agreed, Gordon. I couldn't agree more. And my number 2, kind of a left field pick, I decided to go with one of the ladies. Riho needs to get on steroids.
Okay.
Gordon, I mean, we all know she's a phenomenal wrestler, right? Like
Right, just captivating.
An amazing wressler, a ratings bonanza. Like she comes on the screen. She's got such a magnetic presence that everybody tunes in to see her. But in the ring, Gordon, I got to confess, I'm having a little bit of a hard time understanding how she's able to do those moves because she doesn't look very strong. She's got to weigh 85 pounds. I feel like to really take up her performance to that next level, she needs to be, on steroids. And it doesn't, just because you're a lady and you're on steroids doesn't mean you can't be feminine. I mean, look at Nyla Rose, right? She, has all of she's retained her femininity regardless of whatever chemical enhancement she's on. And she's still got that power, that very kind of like intrusive.
Masculine.
Yeah,
masculine.
a little bit.
Masculine.
Little bit. Riho,
it's almost like she has balls.
Get her on steroids and she'll have chemical balls. Riho, my number 2.
Very good. All right, my number 1 is Brian Cage. Because it irritates me when I see Brian Cage because the first thing I think of is his heart is still beating.
Right. Yeah, no. And that's unfortunate. Yeah. That's too bad. We want him dead today. We've had enough, Brian.
No, I'm a man of extremes. I'm not saying necessarily that I want him to die, but if you're going to do that many steroids already, just do more.
Yeah,
just
you
do
need
the
more.
most.
He needs more steroids.
Because he's got the agility, he's got all that kind of stuff. But like I said, when he walks to the ring, he's still kind of like puffing a little bit. I want to see full on perp. I want to see him purple. Like the blood isn't circulating, the chest cavity is getting all filled with that purple, like pungent, like blood for that. I think Ultimate Warrior / Hercules Hernandez, when his heart was starting to really give out, he would just turn purple.
Right.
Just a disgusting shade of purple. And it's just irritating because I'm like, Brian, you're doing all this work. You're doing all these great things for your body. Take it to the next level. Get more in there. I don't know if you can, but your heart's still beating. So apparently you can. So stop being a pussy. You're going to have to drop that.
Oh,
and,
geez. Rich is now he's doing body shots in there with Josh, which is too much.
And just do the full Monty. Just get them all done. Just get it out of the way. Brian Cage, get on the juice. Get on more of the juice, please.
All right, my number one, Gordon, is just thinking about that next generation, right? Thinking about the next level, the next wrestlers that'll take the place when somebody like The Rock goes or whatever. My number one, hint for AEW, and we know Tony Khan listens to this program, get Wheeler Garcia on steroids. Get him on them.
Wheeler Garcia?
Yeah, the Wheeler Garcia, the mid-card guy that they're always trying to shove down our throats, but he's got a really terrible physique. The guy with all that personality that you can't ever remember after he's on, Wheeler Garcia. Make him
Wheeler Yuta?
No, you're thinking of Daniel Yuta.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta.
Wait, which one is Wheeler Yuta?
He's the guy that bled a lot and everyone thought he was going to be really good, and he has no personality. The other guy dances. Daniel Garcia dances, and Wheeler Yuta is he looks like a half Asian, half white guy.
Which one needs steroids?
I'm gonna say Wheeler Yuta on this one.
Yeah, I can't keep him straight.
So, but we'll go with Wheeler Garcia.
It's our show. We can do what we want.
Yeah, we can do what we want. Yeah, they are interchangeable. But I see your point.
Oh, we're being ushered off.
Saved by the Bell once again. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo. Hour number 1 has concluded. We are going to return you in podcasting land to your normally scheduled other wrestling podcast where they talk about all their opinions about shooting and the shoots and the works and all that kind of stuff.
I don't know what any of that means, but thank you for joining us on the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo here, WMRK Willamachi. If you are local, please stay tuned for hour number 2. If you're not local, get the hell out of here. I'm sick.
Get off my property.
Get out.
Get out. We don't want you here anymore, but no, we really do. Please.
No, come back next week.
Please stay. Please, come back next week.
I love
Rate,
you,
review,
Daddy.
Subscribe. I love you. Don't leave me.
Don't
leave me. Rate, review, subscribe wherever you get your podcasting needs met. Give us a 5-star rating. Send a screenshot of it into akwrestlingrodeo@gmail.com, and we will send you something from our vault. We love you guys. We will see you next time right here, the Alamo Knox Wrestling Rodeo. Goodbye, everybody.